Hey, Hawks fans, welcome back to the Hawks Report Card. We've got a mid-season review. So the bye this week, no games on. So we thought we'd tally up all our scores and see who's leading. So we're not going to review every single player because the couple of players that have just played the one or two games, like Harry Morrison and Jack Dalton and players like that, we're not going to review. But most of the blokes who have played at least up towards 10 games. And one of Evie's favourite players, Will Day, he's probably played 2 games, but we're going to do a review on him. So let's get into it. Our leading goal kickers so far this year, it's pretty well documented. Jack Gunston, I think he's missed 3 games now. He could be up near 50 if he was played every game, especially the games he's missed. We've had a lot of inside 50s. Nick Watson, unbelievable. He's 33. By the end of the year, he could be close to 60, which would be a massive year. That's a Luke Bruce at his best year type 60. Mitchell Lewis, 20 goals from 13 games is he's probably a little bit below par for him. Especially the games Jack Gunston's missed, he sort of hasn't stepped up. And then when our fourth leading goal kicker is Dylan Moore, who's not even averaging a goal a game either. Jack Ginnivan, Connor McDonald, they still haven't got up to a goal a game either. And Connor McDonald kicked 3 in one game, I think. So, yeah. We move on to the next one. Our free kicks against. So this is the naughty boys. Jai Newcomb, he's given away 23. Lloyd Meek, he's probably stepped across the line 18 times. His other 2 free kicks, probably 2 reckless tackles. And Ned Reeves, Ruckman, quite a giveaway a few free kicks. But if you look at it, 13 games, and Lloyd Meek's given away, 2 free kicks a game nearly, 1.5 free kicks a game, but I'd imagine most of them are across the line. Let's go on to the next one. Free kicks 4. Well, Jai Newcomb, he's top of the leaderboard again. He's the top in a few categories for us, Jai. He's received 31. He's always getting grabbed too high. They try to tackle him and that. Ned Reeves, 2 ruckmen, they give away. So they're both running 50-50 nearly. And then James Sicily in 4th place. He's received 15 free kicks. Usually that's not a photo of James Sicily, but he has received 15 free kicks. The most clearances, look at that. That's a domination. And our second player has missed probably 4 games this year. So the other midfielders need to step up here and give Jai a bit of a chop out. I mean, Will Day's back, so he will definitely share some of the load with Jai. But we need these other guys, the Cam McKenzie's, the Josh Wards, and whoever else gets in there. But the 2 ruckmen doing a fair job there. You see them at the bottom, 39 and 38. Oh, that is Josh Ward. Sorry, I thought that was a thing. Anyway, we'll move on to the next one. But Jai Newcomb machined 100 clearances. What a great effort. Our leading kick getters. These are the 2 distributors off the back line, or 3 of them, 4 of them, actually 5 of them. So they're all distributors. These 5, they get the hard ball get the handball out to these guys and they kick it. They get their meters gained. Jarman Impey, Carl Amon, Josh Battle, Sicily and Massimo, they're all real, and they're kicking. Even Massimo's kicking's really improved from last year to this year, and the other guys just do it week in, week out. So that's a really good slide, that one, to look at who kicks it and how they're doing. Our leading marks, Jarman Impey, a bit of a surprise there. I mean, he takes a lot of intercept marks as well as the little sideways ones sometimes to get him going. 99 marks, big effort. James Sicily, 96. Josh Battle, 96. And then Jack Ginnivan sneaks in there, top 4th mark getter. He links up a bit on playing out on the wing now, so he links up and down the field, getting 80 marks. It's a pretty good effort for Jack. The tacklers, Jai Newcomb, like I said, he's top of a few leaderboards in this. And Connor Nash would clearly be leading if he'd played every game. Cam McKenzie and Connor McDonald getting there for equal third with 44 each. So let's move on to the player ratings, Evie. So we've got Mitch Lewis. He's played every single game. His average there, you've averaged him a little bit lower than me, but I've averaged him at around 5.8. He's had his moments, but he clearly plays better when Jack plays, and he probably gets the lesser defender.
Yeah, I averaged 5.6. I definitely thought maybe a bit higher, but yeah, he obviously has hasn't like kicked many goals this year, considering that he's probably been our like main man like in the forward
after
line.
Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Gosh.
that's the thing. He used to be such a really good kick. I mean, he's still kicking quite straight, but he's just when Jack's there and the main man plays on him, the main defender plays on him. He's just like a shell of himself. He just doesn't really get in there, and didn't get many shots on goal. We move on to Jai Newcomb. He's one of these. That graph's still a little bit up and down for him because some of his disposals probably a little bit down, and a lot of games there he'd have a lot more handballs than kicks. So his metre gains game would low, but you can still see there like I've averaged him at a 6.8, which is pretty high, nearly 7 out of 10 every game, and he's second. Like I've got him on 89 points so far this season. Evie, you're a little bit higher.
Yeah, looking at this graph is looking really confusing. Yeah, he's really sort of just going up and down, and like shooting up or like shooting right down. But I mean, I reckon he's played really well. Like the games that he has done well in.
Because obviously doing all the hard work and the tackling and the smothering and all that, it fatigues him a little bit, and his kicking's a little bit off. But yeah, he's soldiering on, and hopefully, like that chop out that will come in and do for him. And man, hopefully Connor Nash comes back, so he should have a bit of an easier, hopefully, second half of the season. Moving on to Jarman Impey, another one. He's up and down, but that was at the start of the season. He's pretty dominant last 6 weeks. Really high for you, Evie, but I've got him as a 7.2. These players, we're going to talk through their big moments of the year so far, but Jarman Impey's had some really big games and especially helped us win. Just a shame he just couldn't pull off a magical kick or a magical pass in that Bulldogs game to get us, back up in that one. But yeah, he's really helped us down back, and he's kicking into the forward lines a lot better this year.
Yeah, I reckon he's playing really well this year. I reckon he's probably one of our best players so far. He's just like all the marks he's taking and like running and the kicking. I just reckon he's playing a lot better. I'm not saying he played bad last year, just like a lot more powerful. So yeah, he's got 95 for me. So
yeah, because when you look at them graphs, and sometimes you look at stats and you look over them, but for him to have the most marks for us is a pretty fair effort for a guy he's known for marking, but not a lot of marks. So yeah, great. He's had a great season so far on the halfway mark. Nick the Wizard Watson, he's been quite dynamic. He's obviously kicked them goals. He's played every game, and we've asked a lot of him because he's only in his third season now, and to play midfield time and then try and do it up in the forward line, you can see every stoppage in the forward line. He is on the move. They have to put a lot of work into him, but it's a lot of work for him too. He uses a lot of energy for that, trying to be that impact player. So when he gets tired in the back end of games, because most of his first halves this year have been really good, and he does tire out. Even the game against the Crows in Tassie, I know he got that head knock, but he looked like he was going to rip that game apart as well, and he went out a little bit. But yeah, definitely the last game against the Bulldogs, you can see he was on target to get an 8 or a 9, and he got a 6. But I've got him a little bit higher than you, Eve. I've got him as a 7.2.
yeah, he's got an 8.88 for me. Sometimes I just like. I feel like he just obviously tires himself out because he does a lot of like that sprinting because he's obviously fast. But the amount of times he nearly gets injured and like just like pops like back on, like it's pretty cool, bro. So yeah.
Yeah, moving on to James Sicily. Obviously had that little thing during the middle of the season when him and Dylan Moore punched the same guy and got a week each. And all that nonsense with being at the game, we saw it, but we didn't notice it as much as like the people who watched it on TV about all the wrestling and all that. We didn't see that stuff, but yeah, a lot of talk of all that. But he did play really well in the first half, and obviously through the season he's been really solid. I reckon he's had a really good year. If he didn't miss the game, he'd be right up there in calculations for leading. But I've got him as a 6 point. Evie and I are very similar here, but I've got him as a 6.7. Good year so far.
Yeah, I got him for 6.67. Yeah, I reckon he's probably just he's really solid down back, and he's always just like he's like it's either him or Battle there to like ready to mark. So like it's pretty safe like sort of when it goes back there. I reckon he's playing well. So
Yeah, but a lot of his possessions nowadays, I think even I discussed that Carl Amon and the boys aren't kicking out from the points as much, and James Sicily is. So it is a bit making his numbers probably look a little bit better than they are. But yeah, he's still marking, and he's a very competitive person. So it's good to have him back there. Ned Reeves, very hard to judge ruckman. You can see that graph. I don't even know what to make of that graph. It's all over the place for the ruckman. But he's a second ruck, and he looked like he's our first ruck. And then Meek plays a good game. Neither of them are like really playing good, but hopefully in the long run, just keep playing these two. They don't wear it. No, they don't get worn out. I still watch when you watch Sydney play and you see Grundy rucking the whole game and he's exhausted by the end. These two look like they're still at the end of the game. They still look like they've got a bit left in the tank, which hopefully by the back half of the season they're going to be a little bit fresher. And when they take on these big teams with the one ruckman or the handy ruckman, they're going to be on top of the ground running and being really competitive then. But yeah, he's pretty. I've rated him a 6 out of 10 every. Like he's averaging a 6. That's pretty good, I think, for Ned. You missed the first game that we lost, but yeah, he's been good.
yeah, so he's virtually averaging a 6 for me as well. I reckon he's done pretty well. He's like won a lot of hit outs. Like I don't know how many.
Yeah, I think he's the one who's helping Jai win them clearance.
Yeah. Obviously, he's got the massive height. Like so, yeah, I reckon he's done really well this year so far. So
yeah, he's got to impose himself and start knocking a few of them little midfielders on the opposition out of the way with that big frame of his. But I mean, Meek tries to do it, but he's a bit clumsy. But Ned bit more skillful. Moving on to Dylan Moore. Well, here's another one who had that blemish in the middle of the year, but he has sort of had a bit of a downer year. I think there's something wrong with that graph, but when it's quite hard to do the graphs when they miss a game. But he's averaging a 5, just over a 5 for me. Yeah, he's hardly hit the scoreboard. I mean, he had that great moment against the Pies. That was a clutch goal. I mean, that was a good goal. We would have left the MCG that night. He'd be really dejected if we didn't come away with a draw. But yeah, besides that, he's had a couple of. I think he had a really good game against Essendon early in the year when he kicked the 3 and had the 20. But he hasn't really done that against one of the good teams yet. We really need him to stand up and get back to some, even if close to that All-Australian form that he was. He kicked 45 goals one year, but he looks a long way off that at the moment. But yeah, he keeps working. He's always in our highest runners, so you can't knock him. He's trying. He's just not getting them right spots.
yeah, I reckon he's always there. He's just like you can never really stands out. Like when you think back at the game, you never really think of the things he does. But he's like always just there. So, I mean, nothing really wrong he does. But yeah, he averages like a 5.3 for me. So
yeah, it's still a pass, yeah.
Yeah.
But for an ex-All-Australian, you'd expect maybe a little bit more. Connor McDonald, he's had an unusual season. He had that really big game against the Pies where he's probably maybe get the 3 Brownlow votes. Maybe you'd think he'd be pretty close. But since then, he's been up and down, up and down. And he's usually kicking pretty straight. But yeah, these big moments. Obviously, the big game he had against Collingwood, the 3 goals and the 28 touches. And he's sort of they're trying to transition him into a midfielder forward. And yeah, he's a powerful runner. When you watch him at the ground, he does cover the ground. He sort of runs up and down and misses getting. They don't use him as much as they probably should because he's quite a skillful user. But yeah, he's had that's a pretty good season, a 6.5 for me. So he's rating right up there out of 10. So he's had a good season so far.
Yeah, he's got a 6.5 for me, like averaging. I reckon he's getting used a lot more than he was last year. Like last year, he was never getting used like around the ground. But obviously he's not kicking as many goals. But obviously you'd want him to kick more. But I mean, he's getting like used to the midfield I guess.
Yeah,
So
once you start, if you spent most of your season or seasons to date that he's played just running up to the wing and back to the goals, and now he's got to run the whole ground. But when you watch him live, he's quite a powerful runner, especially towards the back end of games. But yeah, obviously people's vision blurs a bit and they don't use him. But he's a really good runner and he's a great finisher. He's quite a skillful kick. Moving on to Carl Amon, another one of Evie's favourites here. So she scored him quite highly. He missed that game. Who was there? It was a really good game that he missed.
Geelong.
He missed the Geelong game, did he? Yeah. So it was we had like that was probably our highlight of the year so far. That Geelong game, and for Carl to miss, he's one of our main distributors off the back line. Very skillful. Like that game against the Crows, you saw he never got flustered when that was tight, and yeah, really good. He's been so consistent. He doesn't, and his stats may be down a little bit because, like I said, he doesn't kick out from the points like he used to be first one there when they got a point. But nowadays he's sort of not doing that. But he links up really well. He never gets flustered. He's a great player. I mean, when he first came to Hawthorn, I was like, who's this Carl Amon? But so glad he's got there, and yeah, he's done really well in the last couple of years.
Yeah, so he's averaging scores 7.29 for me. I reckon he's just playing really well this so far. He's like always running well, kicking. Like he doesn't really handball much, so when he does kick, it's like it's going to be like
good kick.
Yeah. So
well, that's why when you watch him play, you don't think he's that good a runner. But then when you watch the all the running where they record all the stats at the start of the season, he's quite high in that. Him and Josh Ward, and you think, wow, they don't look like they're a blistering fast runner, but they've got endurance, and yeah, he's very professional player now. He doesn't get very flustered at all. He's having a great season. Connor Nash, he's sort of missed that last big patch of games. He came back, I think that graph's missing a game, so it's going to be a little bit out, but he's obviously not going to get up there anyway with missing so many games, but very competitive person. 6.5 is average for both of us, so we rate him quite highly. He's quite competitive, combative, tackling machine. He's actually, he was leading Hawthorn. He's coming second on our clearances, but a lot of his clearances, he snap kick out or whatever, But yeah, you just love it. Like I'm pretty sure the Bont was real happy when he wasn't lining up against him last week. But yeah, hopefully he gets all his issues sorted out and he gets back in, because we really do miss him when he's not there.
Yeah.
Will Day, Evie, 2 games he's played. He's averaging a 7.5, which is above. That's a pretty good effort. A 7 and an 8. Yeah, he did really well in his comeback game, and then he kicked a really good goal against the Bulldogs. Still, a couple of turnovers really cost us. That backwards kick he did against the Bulldogs, that was a big mistake, really, in the end. But yeah, hopefully it's upwards and onwards for Will.
Yeah, 7.5. That's obviously pretty good. Yeah, obviously still having the managing minutes and all that. So hopefully he's going to stay healthy for the rest of the season.
Yeah, maybe Will didn't want the bye to come because he's trying to get back into it. Now he's just going to have another rest. So hopefully he's off that managed minutes and he just gets back in there and helps Jai out, takes a bit of the load off him. Blake Hardwick, you can look at that. It's so consistent, then just dropped off the big bomb last week against the Dogs where he only had the 7 touches or whatever it was and got a couple of 2s and a 2.5. But what a season. I mean, he's kicked nearly he's almost kicked as many goals as Dylan Moore and them. So he's only spent a couple of quarters up there. So great. You don't notice him as much down back. He doesn't kick it as much as he used to, but he's still solid. Very good player. He's very underrated, I think. And it was great that he got rewarded with that Victorian in the Victorian team, and he held his own there. He wasn't out of place. You could see he's very, very calm. He knows what he's doing. He's been there, done that. So he's a great player. And hopefully he's another person that can just keep that everything consistent, and yeah, that's a high score for a back pocket player for me. 6.5.
Yeah, 6.3. Who knows? That could have been like a 6.5. He just like played better
last
against
game.
Bulldogs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's just playing really well. Obviously, he should right up for like when he kicked the 4 goals. Or
He had a great game against the Crows where he had to play full forward, and then he switched forward against the Saints. The game was probably over then, but he kicked 4 and a quarter. But
yeah, he's playing really well so far. So
very consistent. Doesn't seem to get niggles or anything like that. Maybe he pulls up sore. Here, Massimo D'Ambrosio. He's a guy who has gone upwards and from that slow. You can see the graph slowly getting up there the first couple of weeks. I was really disappointed with him in that GWS game at the start of the year. I mean, it was a hot, humid day. They said it was really humid in that GWS game, and that's why a couple of our players really sort of performed badly, sort of hit him. But look at that; it's gone up, and he's kicking. He's powerful marking. I mean, we were there that night against Port Adelaide where he took that game-saving mark in the back line. It was a great mark, but he's had some really big moments, some really good kicking. He set the game up, I reckon, against St Kilda as well with the kicking, the linking up and the passing into Jack Gunston and that. Yeah, he's had a really good back half of the first half, so his last been really powerful. I've got him 6. Something's a little bit wrong with that graph as well, because me and you are about the same, but yeah.
yeah, I reckon he's also done really well towards like the end of this little thing. Yeah, he's just playing really well. Like, just the kicking, he's into like fine. Like, he's like just I don't know. He's just solid right now. He's running really well. His kicking's gotten a lot better, I reckon. And yeah, I reckon he's just playing well. So
Yeah, I think he's got a lot fitter as the season's gone on. So it means his kicking is like a lot better as well. Like you watch him play at the MCG. I think he's a different player at the MCG. We watch him at Etihad. He's a little bit, I don't know, that he just loves that bigger ground. He's been really, really good the back half of the last month. Lloyd Meek up and down, up and down. It's hard because a couple of games there he'll only have 3 or 4 possessions, but he'd get 20 knockouts. But yeah, hard to rate Ruckman because you just want him to be combative. He is that. He is combative. Goes up against some, people who are a little bit more skillful than him and a little bit, but you just want him to compete. He does that. People bag him, but I don't know. I reckon he's doing well. And just like I said before, with Ned Reeves, they're sharing the load. So hopefully, as the season goes on, they'll just stay this consistent, and the other people will sort of come back to them.
yeah, I don't know like what the score would be like for him if Ned Reeves wasn't playing, because I'm sort of just like
We're rating 2 players there.
yeah, I'm kind of just like rating them. One person they played worse, they get 0.5
Yeah.
lower. So, but I mean, he's playing well. Like, obviously, there's games where he won't really do anything around the ground, but he get hit out. So, but yeah.
Charlie had a big chunk with that hammy. He did the hammy against Bulldogs in gather round, correct? So he's had that big stretch out. He came back. He's a little bit tired, but he really helped us in that Crows win. And then, yeah, he was really good against the Bulldogs, but just couldn't get us across the line. Yeah, he was really good against the Bulldogs. Highlights for the year so far, I guess, maybe the game against Essendon, but everyone sort of played good that night. So, yeah, we just want him to. He had a bit of the yips before he did his hammy. He was getting a lot of shots a goal. He could have ripped a couple of games apart. Even the Sydney game, he kicked a lot of points, and he played well. But yeah, just obviously not hurting the opposition. But yeah, it's hard to rate. Like, I reckon he's very important. Like last year, we're like, oh, Charles out when Cash Ladier's in, but not anymore. I think this guy's one of the first picked in the forward line now.
Yeah, just like his marking around the ground is just so like strong. So yeah, he's averaging like a 6 for me. So I reckon that's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good for a forward. He especially doesn't go in the ruck anymore. Jack Gunston, he would be killing it if he played every game. I think he's missed 3 games. And the 3 games he could have filled up. Like, we had some big inside 50 discrepancies of the games he missed. But yeah, dominant 6.4 for me. He just had that one game against Collingwood he didn't score. Yeah, but you can't say much more about him. He's just playing so well.
Yeah, he's getting 6.4, we'll say 5. For me, I reckon that's pretty good, especially how many games he's missed. So, yeah.
Josh Weddle, he's had a couple of bumps in the road, but hopefully getting back on. Another player who sort of you take for granted, like his running power for the 13 games. He's, an elite runner. Hopefully he just keeps powering along, doesn't get any niggles like last year. So, yeah, he's getting better. The last couple of weeks have definitely been better, and hopefully he can stay down back and stay in that position. And, yeah, I rated him really well. I reckon, especially since them couple of downers.
Yeah, he's averaging a 5.8 for me, so he's still passing. Yeah, he's definitely gotten better, like, these past couple games. He started off a bit iffy, so at least he's, like, getting to, like, his last year, like, sort of form.
Yeah, well, I think if they play him down back, he doesn't have to worry about the stress of having a kick straight when he gets the goal. Because we saw him the other night when he had that shot at goal, we were thinking no chance, and he wasn't. It missed by a fair way. So I think if he just plays down back, he doesn't have to worry about kicking straight. Don't worry about the goal kicking. Here's Josh Battle. What a player. So glad we got him from St Kilda. He's very underrated. I saw that no one has got him in their All-Australian teams. I can't believe it. If this guy doesn't go back to back, he's had a better season than last year. And yeah, he just doesn't get goals kicked on him. You saw him against Norton. Norton's quite a big, strong man, and Battle's a little bit undersized there, but he played so well on him. But yeah, he wasn't as offensive as he usually is, but you can see there, he's had a great season. 7.5, that's massive ratings for Josh.
Yeah, we have the same scorings actually for him. So yeah, he's just playing so well. Like, he's just marking well. He's doing everything. So
yeah. Josh Ward, another midfielder who sort of wanting to pick up the slack. You can see a couple of down games, especially that one against Port. That was a stinker from Josh, but he's always up there in the running. So he's doing the work. He's just running in and not getting linked up with and not using. He played really good against the Bulldogs. Like, we have more recent memories than the start of the season. It's hard to remember back. You can obviously see he had a massive game against Essendon, like a lot of them. But yeah, 6.1 for me. That's a pretty good year for Josh.
yeah, he's getting 6.5 for me. So that's obviously pretty well. So
yeah. Cam Mackenzie, another one, missed the start of the season because of the concussion thing. You can see there he's been pretty consistent since his first probably 3 games back in. Still hasn't hit the score. Oh, he's kicked the 1 goal this year. Hit Josh Ward, the person before him, he hasn't hit the scoreboard. So we just need these midfielders to give these other guys a chop out, especially the small forwards are doing a lot of the the midfield work. So we need these guys to hit the scoreboard. But yeah, obviously a 6. He's averaging a 6.6. That's pretty good for Cam.
yeah, he's averaging 6.8. So yeah, obviously he's had some down games, but he's like, as you can see, he's pretty like even. So at least he's not like dropping off,
Yeah, not dropping off. So hopefully after he's signed that extension, that new contract, he should feel a little bit freer, no pressure. So get out there and have a crack, Cam. Jack Ginnivan, he's another one. We still talk about people. We're talking about him. All Hawthorn people were talking about him being all Australian and that. And since then, he's really dropped off, and his goal kicking's gone down a little bit. Obviously, spending more time up on the wing. He's been getting a lot of the ball. Maybe we should go back to where he's more damaging in the forward line and get other people to do that stuff up on the wing, because he's very skillful in the forward line, very elusive, and he sort of gets in gaps and gets people, links up really well on the forward line. Or maybe he's a little bit more damaging up on the forward line than getting 25 up in the midfield.
Yeah, I mean, you've actually said it. Like, obviously he was playing so well the first 4 or 5 games, and I feel like when they started playing him, when he's spending more time on the wing, he must just be getting gassed out.
Yeah,
So
well,
just,
we saw his tackling numbers is right down as well there. Like he dropped off. He was a really good tackler at the start of the year, and he's dropping off that. But yeah, Tom Barras, we just threw him in. He's got no chance of obviously finishing in the ratings at the end of the season. But he's just such an important player, and you know, I think if he doesn't do his hamstring, we beat Fremantle, and you know, Hawthorn be sitting quite pretty, but. We miss him. Hopefully he's back. We've seen him training during the week. I have not seen a video of Jack Gunston training yet. So hopefully Jack is training. But yeah, Tom Barras, very important, major important play. You saw him how good he was against Sydney. That was his highlight of the year, I reckon, that Sydney game. He was so good. And yeah, hope we want him back.
yeah.
So let's go to the leaderboard. So my top 6, I've got Jai Newcomb on 93.5. Jarman Impey second in 92.5. Equal with Nick Watson. Then Josh Battle. Connor McDonald's popped up there, but obviously he's had that 4 or 5 weeks where he's been pretty poor. And Jack Ginnivan, he's been very consistent. He's in my top 6.
Yes, I've got both Ty Jarman Impey and Jai Newcomb with 95.5. Then Battle with 90. Then Nick Watson 89.5. Mass with 89 and Ward with 88.
Yeah. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We're up in Gold Coast next week. People's First Stadium, do they call it? It's a Friday night. So I know it's going to be slippery, that humidity up there, but at least it's not hot during the day because they're still getting 25-degree days up there, so that might knock us around a bit. But hopefully at night it's going to be dewy and slippery. Hopefully we've got a couple of big ends, and yeah, hopefully we can. I can't remember winning there, Eve, but hopefully we can get a notch of win up there, and we'll be back on the channel reviewing the game. Anything?